The Amateur Television Net is on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Catch up with the latest ATV news, see the latest television projects, shack layouts and much more. A good time to ask questions about amateur television. We use local 2-meter liaison frequency FM simplex 147.400 MHz and Berwick repeater 439.375 MHz. Every Tuesday starting 8 p.m.
To 165 nets from Mount View, so that's a good record. And this evening we've got a good strong contender of stations coming up, and not starting off with me, that's not a strong start, but anyway, I'm the mystery controller for this evening, and I'll make some deliberate mistakes just to keep people amused and see and make sure that I don't do everything smoothly, which is never a threat, never a possibility. All right, this evening we have Peter, VK3BFG, and followed by Richard, VK3VRS, and Clint, VK3CSJ, and then pass it back to myself. And then I'll pass it to Mick, VK3CH, and John, VK3ATV, unless I've forgotten someone. Also watching, we have who have notified us. There's David from Sydney, VK2DJV, and Richard, obviously, because he'll be coming up later, and Bronson the Cat. So it's all happening on YouTube. The YouTube is running. I can actually give you the details. And I still keep voice. That's amazing, isn't it? And but I didn't push the button. We have it, and there we have voice. So that's the details of the YouTube and Discord up on the screen before your very eyes. We have John, VK3JCO, Mark, VK3PI, Stephen, VK3TTF, and I believe Neil will be watching, so VK3BCU. All right, that's I think there is one other station that came up on RMC, but I didn't get down the details, the call sign, so my apologies. Right, the stream Discord is also on the agenda there, as well as the Richard's YouTube stream. So they're the details as we speak on the screen. Right, it's all happening, and I'm in my 1980s test equipment. Gee, I remember some of that stuff. Wish I could never really measure anything of any use with it with my level of skill, but it looked good with twiddling the knobs when visitors were looking around. Always looked busy and looked like you knew what you were doing. That was the rule. Where I was working in the 1980s, which the name of the organisation will remain a closely guarded secret. All right. I don't know what what was I going to do next? Let's have a look at one of the from the archives. A little. No, let's go to Peter. That'll be far more entertaining and informative. All right, if people could prepare to go over to RTV1, and Peter will enlighten us on what he's been up doing and what he's has plans for, if any, indeed. I'm sure he has. He always seems to. He's always coming up with new tricks, which is great. All right, this is VK3 Quebec Lima. If you could switch to RTV one, and I, with a bit of luck, bring that up on the big screen.
There we go. I think we've got some audio. Yep, it looks as though the VU meters are dancing away up there. So that's good. I'm Peter, VK3RTV, and I've got my jumper on at the moment because it got a bit cold this afternoon. Well, it's very pleasant with a nice southerly. Let me just turn that off. And that off. We won't have any background. Always audio. Anyway, good evening everyone. We've had an interesting week. We're running on 2 GT Media boxes this evening, both on RTV1 and RTV2. So I am running, just for an experiment, I'm running SR Systems DVB-S2. I did check DVB-T just shortly before we came on, and that seemed to work okay. We're going to have Richard on VK3VRS, he'll be on ports down, and then followed by Clint on yet a different SR Systems transmitter, and Ian, who just came up and did the intro, is also on SR Systems transmitter. And yet we've got Jeff, Jeff 3GE, who's just arrived back from a trip overseas. He's also got an SR Systems transmitter, bought much the same time in the same group as the rest of us, and he's got black screens. So it's a bit of a mystery, really. We're all running the same bits, and yeah, it is possible, by the way, for you to get in on a different receiver depending on how you go about it. So locally here, if I run a modest level of power, I might get in on the southeast beam, and have done. And you'll know that because the no signal reports are different for the HD media, GD media, and the old combos. So you know what receiver you're in on. In a way, it doesn't matter because they're both on 1246 or 1253, and you'll come back on RTV1 or RTV2, and the system always works on first in best dress, so once you're locked in there, unless some big mammoth signal comes, you'll be okay. Generally what I do here is run fairly modest amount of power so that I'm on the receiver that I know I should be on. Well, it doesn't matter whether I should be on, but they're both on 1246, so it doesn't really matter, or 1245 I should say. And similarly with 1253. You won't get in on 1245 if you're on 1253. The separation's too much. I haven't seen anyone do that, but I could be corrected on that. But I think the channel separation too much. But I might be wrong. Anyway. Over the week I've been thinking about what I can do, and I did actually get up on that extremely hot day. The day we had 43 degrees or whatever it was. I went up to Mount View fairly early before it got very hot, and I decided I was going to get rid of all of the plug packs, or apart from a couple actually. That we had running on. We had plug packs on the preamps. We had plug packs on the receivers. So that means that there were eight plug packs there. Plus there was a plug pack on the little local monitors, the little small monitors that we got up there, and a plug pack on the video machine as well. So I think that was 10 plug packs, if I got the correct right. So they're all gone, and I've got it all running on one power supply, with the thing nicely reticulated up the side of the rack. And it was something I've been meaning to do ever since we sort of really got up to Mount View, but too many other things happening that I didn't get around to do it. So the rack looks a whole lot better now, and doesn't make the system work any better, I guess, but it looks a bit more professional. And if it does fail, the lot will go off, but that's okay. We can work with that. Generally, I've found the Meanwhile power supplies that people know about are pretty reliable. We've been running on those on the main power supplies. That's what's in the rack there. It's running it's running all the controllers, and it's running also the main PA as well. So they're fairly reliable. So it's running on one 12-volt supply, and that is fused. But I thought, well, it's fairly important, so I decided, and I had something to do this week, I guess. So I made a little box that is an extra serial fuse on it for overcurrent, but it's also over voltage protected as well now. So I'll show you the box. I'm going to put it in maybe tomorrow. It's switching the 240 volt line, and I've got it rigged up. It's a double pole, double throw 240 volt switch, and I've got it rigged up with one of the poles running on the active 240 volt line, and the other one's loop back 12 volt supply, so that if the overvolts activates, the relay is going to be locked on, and the power supply can't ever come back until I go and reset it. So it's sort of double indemnity in that sense. So we'll have a quick look at what we've done there. And pardon the shaky cam again, but you take the camera off its little thingo and behind there it is. Used components that I had around the place. You can see here the little power supply, or the little transformer here. I've had that for quite a while, and we just knocked up this PCB, the power supply for the detector circuit. We've just got a 12 volts running on 5 volts. The 12 volts is running on the LM3900, which you've got here, which is a comparator. The 5 volts is the reference for one side of the comparator, and it's set to pop the relay around about I think 14 volts is the way I've set it. And there's the relay there, very nice relay. It's mounted on a DIN rack thing, so it's actually a plug-in, double pole, double throw 240 volt relay, and we've got a little bit of spark suppression there. And 240 volts comes in this end and just loops around here, got the active loop through one of the poles and out to the output here. And the other pole is, as I said, it's actually the 12 volt line looping back, so that if the relay activates, the 12 volt just loops back onto the coil and locks the coil in until I release the system, which I'd have to unplug it to do that. But it would be in the case of a catastrophic failure. The chances of overvoltage with those supplies is pretty low, but the the result of such an event would be pretty catastrophic when we've got all our preamps and all our receivers running on the same supply and all decoupled up the rack. So that's basically a little project for this week. So that's about it from me. So I think we're going to go to Richard, and you'll just excuse me while I put my camera down, and you can see my multimeters under there. So VK3VRS, if you're ready there, Richard. This is VK3BFG in Montana South. Over to you.
Well, that was one of the longest changeovers we've had in a while. Hang on, have I got two microphones going? No. Alright. Happy New Year, everybody. Sorry about last week. All my great plans failed, unfortunately. Nature took over. So I'm not big on announcing to everybody in the world that I'm going on holidays, so I set everything up to hopefully be automated, and the plan was, the way that I've got things set up here, OBS does all the streaming, and in that you can set up automatic, at a particular time start streaming, and I'd set up so Discord would be on RTV2 because I knew Ian was going to be the host controller, and or Neil, didn't matter, either one. And I had an email which I'd written to say, hey guys, I'm going to be away for the next net. I've set up an auto thing on YouTube, so that will do its normal thing, and it'll also do it to Discord. All you'll need to do is transmit constantly on RTV2. So, receive RTV1 signal and transmit it to RTV2, and then my system would pick all that up and redo it. Now, I did all that on the night before I was leaving, and because it was late, I did the email, got distracted by something, wrote it, didn't hit the send button because I wanted to check it before I actually sent it, just to make sure, and had everything in place, and didn't send that email. So that was one problem. So poor Ian and Neil didn't know what was going on. And the second thing that happened is the actual server that runs OBS is in my garage, and it connects via HDMI extender, blah blah blah. Anyway, the UPS that's managing that server had a glitch and shut down, didn't come back up. So it actually shut down the whole server. So that was the stream gone and everything gone. So in hindsight, what I'm saying is very sorry to all our viewers, and at the moment we've got 10 on YouTube, so sorry about last week, and we currently have 3 on Discord. So yeah, sorry for disappointing you all, but great plans often come don't go together how you want. Anyway, I've been doing a few little experiments, been playing. I haven't had much time to do anything, but I was trying to work out how to do something in vMix, and at the moment I've just worked out, when you watch the news and you see how the guys, they send in some footage off their phone and it's always, this, and on the outside you see all that, the same image, but it's blurred in the background. Well, I thought, surely I can do that in vMix too. Can't be too hard. Well, it took me a little bit of having to think about it. Poor brain's hurting now. But I'll just show you what I managed to do, and you tell me what you think. Audio, I'm hoping there's no audio. Alright, well, so as you can see, I didn't want audio on this video anyway, but as you can see, there's two lots of images that are happening in that. So for those who use vMix, what I've had to do is I've had to have two copies of exactly the same video running together, and then what you're seeing is the output of those two. So you set up a colour and you put two layers on it. The first layer, obviously, you zoom in and blur it, and then the second layer goes on it just as is. That's how you do it. But then you've got two separate videos, and as you know, when you change over to a video, it doesn't automatically play, so you have to set up a trigger in both of them, that when you, on the colour or the blank, when you transition into the blank, it fires up both of those videos. So that's how I've sort of done it, and I don't know, I'd have to play around with the zoom and the blur, and I think, I don't even know if I can do that live. I possibly could. I think it'll stop the video though. So let's have a look, see if it does. So far not. Okay, let's see if I can. Yeah, you can see I can play around with it live. That's quite incredible. So if I sort of do that, and then I have to go into the actual layer that's blurred. So there's a bit of mucking around, but I can do it. So that's the blur one. So I can take the blur off in the background, I can blur it more, so you can see the end result there. So yeah, it's just a little bit of fun. Anyway, it was my experimenting, and I thought that might be interesting for people if they use vMix. Might be something for them to have some fun and play around with. Could be wrong, could be barking up the wrong tree, but there you go. That's how it works. And of course, I can play them separately. Now they're out of sync. Can you tell? Probably not, because of the blurring. So yeah. Anyway, I thought that was a bit of a neat trick. So I wanted to play around, try and understand bits and pieces of the software that we've got. It's extremely powerful. There's more to this software than what we ever dream of doing, just as ham radio operators playing around. But by crikey, as you look more and more into it, there is so much you can do. As with OBS as well, the free version, there are so many add-ons and things that you can play around with. If you had the time, you could spend a lot of time doing things. As you guys are aware, in the past I've played around with some other add-ons, creating avatars and stuff like that, and that was fun. Is it ham radio related? No. Is it ATV related? Well, yes, because I'm still, transmitting a picture, and I'm manipulating the image and doing and whatnot. So, yes, still ATV, ham radio ATV related, I suppose. So, anyway, that's my segment. I haven't got much else. I'll just let you know that I did get evacuated from the bush. We were camped up near Alexandra. Quite a frequent visitor to that area. Love the area up there, as I do with a lot of Victoria, but we do frequent there a lot. And the ranger came around on the Wednesday and gave us a heads up. Well, look, the weather's not looking too good for Friday. When are you guys leaving? And we said, we're probably going to go Friday. And he said, well, if you can, make it early on Friday. And we said, okay, no worries, we'll be gone by lunch. And he said, the sooner the better, that'd be great. He said, I don't know if you've seen or heard the weather, but, we're in for a pretty bad one with strong winds. I said, I don't want to be on the road with a caravan, 3 ton of caravan, while there's bad winds. So I said, all right, no worries. Then Thursday morning, the next day, Ranger came back and he said, plans have changed. You've got to get out. We've been ordered to close all the parks because it's gone from extreme to catastrophic. And I went, what now? He goes, yeah. He said, it's really, really bad conditions and we're not expecting it to be very pretty at all. So you really need to go. And of course there was a fire. And it actually did get to Alexandra, so we were like 10 k's from where the fire actually got to. Thankfully, we watched it on the news. We didn't actually be on the news, but very thankful that the ranger did come around. I know the ranger quite well because we frequent we frequent the area quite a bit. So anyway, so hats off to all our firefighters and all that, and thank you for looking after our precious bush. I do enjoy it because I go there and I do nothing. I go to places where there is no internet, there is no phone reception, hence why when everything crashed I didn't know until we went into town, and I had all these messages. What are all these messages? Oh, and of course, it was on the Wednesday by the time. Actually, it was on the Tuesday that I went in, and I was trying to actually fix it, but I couldn't. So from my phone, I mean, when you're trying to work from a screen that's that big, and I couldn't work out why things weren't responding, and it was because the UPS had actually shut itself off. So I couldn't have fixed it anyway if I wanted. So, and then when I got back, I realised that the email that I was supposed to have sent was sitting in my drafts, which meant I didn't send it before I shut the computer down. Anyway, so it has. Right, Clint, I know you're on tea, so I'll go over to my trusty old test pattern, and we'll see you then. Don't forget, for people that aren't familiar, this is Discord. Just hover your phone over there, take a picture of it, and you can go to Discord. No problems. It's getting quite active with a lot of posts from around the country, so which is good. So there's relevant information and up-to-date information on there. Facebook, which is this side, I've taken a little bit of a rest from social media, so I'm not really doing much on there. I'm calling it anti-social media. But we've got it if we do choose to continue on with it. All right, Clint, hopefully you're ready. I'll go to my test pattern and then you can take over. Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Okay. Why am I doing that? That's the other side of things here. According to vMix, so I should have video there. Is there any audio there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, there is. Okay. Something else is going on.
Did they have a desktop on the screen?
Yeah, it's right. It's something like that. Why is that happening?
Is it an overlay?
Yeah, it'll be something like that, and I can't. I'm looking at my normal vMix screen here on the computer, and normal network. No, it's something else. Bear with us for a sec. Oh, okay. Why is this thus? Well, wouldn't it bother you? I know there's a reason for it, and right, okay. Still, it doesn't help me much because it's not working for me. All right, I don't know why that's happening. All right, look, it's not an easy fix right now. It should be an easy fix. I have had this little issue before. Oh my God. Oh, well, that's a painful thing. Yeah. All right, I don't know why I can't switch between these two desktops at the moment. It shouldn't be like this at all. If it's not audio being a problem, it's video. And I was just admiring what you were doing with that video, Richard. I thought that's excellent the way you've got that working. Look, I'll put it back over to you there, Ian, on RTV1, and I'll see what I can do this side of town. So everybody, look, actually, I'll keep mucking around on RTV1 because I can't really confirm that things are going to work correctly. So everybody just ignore RTV1 right now and go back to Ian on RTV2, and Ian can continue on with RTV2 stations, and you'll you'll see if I get things right here on RTV1. So everybody go across to RTV2 for Ian and Mick VK3CH, and I'll just turn the audio down.
Back again, great. Yeah, interesting little challenge there, Clint. I don't know what's happening there, and yeah, great side windows. They must have a technical term for that. I don't know what it is, where they blur vertical format screens across either side like that, Richard. But yeah, you certainly achieved the effect very well, and Peter, great job. In the warm weather, replacing all the plug packs. They're a real nuisance, and they're a source of great problem. Oh, there's Clint on one. Hello. We'll come back. Actually, we'll cut back to you now if you like. Give us a thumbs up. I can't hear you. Do you want to come back up now, Clint?
Yeah, I flicked it, but it seems to be working okay.
All right, we'll go back to Clint on RTV1. We'd like you to be switching backward and forwards. Keep you on your toes if you're watching.
1 2 1 2. Okay. Right, we're there. I don't know why that happened, but I don't normally have these issues on the fly like that. But that's why it's amateur TV. Good evening, everyone, and sorry about the mucking around there. I trust that everybody is okay, both viewers and listeners. And I've only just got the fluoro lighting here in the shack at the moment, so there's no extraordinary lightning at the moment, on me at least, so apologies for a dull overall dull picture. Okay, the audio seemed to be a bit loud from either Ian and Peter, and just volume wise, but then when Richard came on it was all right, so I'm not sure exactly where the levels are slightly out of whack, but I don't know. But anyway, last week when Ian was on, Neil, I think Neil sounded all right, but once you came up, Ian, it was full on with the volume. So anyway, I think it's a bit better today, but it still sounded a bit too loud on RTV1. All right, and g'day, Richard. And I really do. Yes, that's very interesting. The vertical video, because a lot of video footage that commercial TV has to put up with is the standard holding the mobile vertical. And of course there's all this wasted space on the side. So what do? They blur the sides. So we now know how they do it. And obviously within vMix you can set that up as a fixed layer that you can use all the time. So yeah, that's excellent. It's good that you've worked that out. Yeah, you're quite right. vMix is and OBS, but both programs are powerful programs, and I always like the way that vMix is getting updates for things, and I can see at the moment there's an update already to update to the latest vMix. So I'll do that once I'm finished here. Probably not, but anyway. Anyway, look. All right. Well, the things that there's a couple of things I just want to show you tonight. Let me see. Where am I here? Yeah. There we go. That'll do. All right. Because I'm on Facebook a lot, there's a lot of advertising on Facebook which either irritates you or you put up with it, and I often get sucked in to a lot of little things that I see on Facebook, whether it be electronic bits and pieces and gadgetry, or mechanical bits and pieces and gadgetry, and and often it's 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm just about to go to sleep. I pick up the mobile phone, I go surfing around, and I'm often buying things at the time of the morning. I'm on holidays at the moment. I've got another 2 weeks before going back to work, so it's been late nights every day, averaging 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning going to bed. So yeah, not good. I've been binge watching a series on Netflix at the moment, so it's one episode after the other, and it's like last night. I'm thinking I had the remote control ready to pause the next episode coming up, and I'm going, and I'm watching the first 5 minutes of the program. I think, oh damn it, I'll catch this last episode, and before I know it, another hour's gone. So anyway, apart from all that, there was a little device. It's a wireless HD transmitter receiver kit, they call it, and it's a device that plugs into your mobile phone on the USB-C port, and it looks a bit like that. And what is interesting is that it says 50-metre range there, and well, it is. It's about 50 metres when it drops out. Quite capable of HD, and it's actually workable up to, it caters for up to 8K resolution capabilities, so it's a pretty good device. Anyway, that came the week before last, and so let me just demonstrate this at the moment. It was very easy to set up because once you plug it into your mobile phone, it works almost straight away. It connects to the other unit via Wi-Fi link, 2.4 gig link, and I'm pretty sure it does. So if I go across to the phone now, what you'll see is the output from Richard's Discord channel. So that's it now. That's what my mobile phone is receiving. That's the mobile phone with Discord. So unfortunately, it's oh, look at that! It's actually doing a feedback thing. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, of course it would be doing that. Oh my goodness me! That's really interesting. That it should be doing that. Anyway, that looks terrible, but as it's yeah, all right, I'll go off that. Let me go back to the output of the mobile phone, and I'll remove myself from Discord. So that's the actual feed there. Now I'll close that down, and what you're seeing is basically the front screen of the mobile phone. So I've got the zoom on at the moment so that I can get a full screen, but that's the actual mobile screen. So let me see if I can just get rid of that little thing. So as that's me just changing, putting my finger on the screen of the mobile, and you can see how it's mirroring the mobile phone. And if I go to the camera, that's the screen that's coming off the mobile phone. So if I go to camera 1, there it is there. So that's the actual device on the end of the mobile phone, and so you can see how that's working fine. So I go back to the mobile phone again, and yeah, so I can show you basically just moving, holding the camera around like this. I can pan around, and I can go about 50 metres away before the picture disappears. So that is working reasonably well. I was quite happy with the performance of that little device. The other end of it is that section just here. That's the other bit. So I'm taking the HDMI out of that, and that's going straight into to the back of the computer I've got a special card in there, Black Magic, I think it is, Black Magic card, catering for the HD. So that's the output from the repeater on my screen on the wall there, and the view outside to the backyard. You can see the dome in the backyard there, background. So that's, you know, I'm fairly pleased, and of course I can go straight to video if I pick up something here. Let's see. So that's my pictures off the camera, and if I had any video there, I can play that. So I think that's playing. There we go. So that's directly off the camera video, something I recorded previously. And so that's playing quite well. Now I can zoom in using vMix. I can zoom in on that so I can get rid of those borders. And there we go. So that's video coming straight off the camera, and that's as I walk around. And there is audio, I think, associated with that. Maybe not. The only thing I can't quite work out is why, if I go to live camera, I can't seem to get audio off the live camera passing through. So I don't know why that is. But for video and stuff like that, I can usually get there will be audio. So. So there it is. I thought that was a novelty, and that works quite well. Now the only other interesting thing toy that I picked up lately, I've always wanted a one of these little thermal camera. Not so little actually. It's Thermal Master is the brand name on that, and it's a Thor 001, and one of those things. So yeah, so you turn that on, hold the button down for a bit, and it starts up with a bit of a splash screen. And then it switches to working mode. It does a bit of a initialization first. System is initializing, and it'll be ready for stuff. Now, on the front of it is a little protecting device. So you do that, and that opens up the camera inside. There's a normal a video camera, 2 megapixel video camera in there as well, so it takes normal video. It's got a laser pointer in it as well, and that's me in infrared. So it works quite well. I'm fairly impressed with it. So. I think that's the what is that? I think that's the Telefunken transmitter. Anyway, so been mucking around with that a little bit, and interesting little toy. Comes in a fairly decent case too. I was really impressed with that. There's the carrying case for it. Nice little box, protects it all. This particular model has a macro lens on it, so if you wanted to get close up and personal with components on an electronics board, PCB, that clips to the front of the camera, and you can get close-ups of the overheating components. So now. This, just to go through a couple of pictures that I've got here. that's one of my black cats sitting on my seat that I sit in, and that's her in infrared. Oh, hang on. There we go. Right. This is Kiska, my other cat, one of my other cats, and this is her with the thermal imager. And it's interesting from my observations of doing this with the cats, their nose seems to be the coldest point on their body, and that's fairly evident in that image there. This is a shot of my mobile phone just sitting on the corner of the bench with the thermal imager. It sits there glowing at around 23 degrees. This is the Behringer mixer that I use. I'm going through currently right now in speaking to you guys, and this is what it looks like overall. A couple of pieces of test equipment, frequency counters that have been sitting there now running for the last few weeks, and so they're quite warm. And here's a shot now. Now that's a fairly ordinary piece of timber in the barn here, painted timber. I put my hand up on it for about 5 seconds or so, and you can see my handprint perfectly on the panel of wood here. Now I went outside at 3 o'clock in the morning just the other day, and that's a possum. Of course, I couldn't see it actually in the pictures of the darkness of the night at 4 o'clock. By eye, I actually couldn't see the little bugger, but there it is. And I took a shot up the tower. It's amazing how the tower glows at night time. That grid pack there is usually what I would be using to get into the repeater. Not at the moment though, but I've got to fix that up before I go back to work so I can start to use that antenna. And a shot looking down towards the dome, the scope dome, back of the property. And the horizon is way off in the distance there, and of course the sky is fairly dark. So yeah, I thought that was a bit of an interesting thing to get a hold of, and so I've always wanted one of these. The company that I work for, SRX Global, they have something not I don't think it's sophisticated as this actually, but whenever I had a chance to play around with Works thermal imager, I always start mucking around with it, doing lots of other things, and I thought, I've got to have me one of these things. So I get sucked into it. Oh, and the thing is, this has also got Wi-Fi in it too, so you can, with the mobile app, everything's got a mobile app these days, you can send the image that you see directly to your mobile phone app and save images to your mobile phone. So that works quite well. There is also something that works on the computer screen, laptop. You can feed the same thing to the laptop, although I haven't quite worked that one out yet, but apparently you can do that straight to your laptop. All right, enough of that nonsense. That's it for me, and I'm glad I got it working finally. So thanks for listening, and thank you, Ian, for running it, doing a good job. And we'll.
Mick, VK3RTV.
Yep, we shall do. So if we all can now switch across to R2V1 and pick up Mick, VK3CH, with his segment. Go ahead, Mick. It's all yours, mate. R2V2, sorry. Thanks, Peter, for your work too.
Alright, we're there. Yes, and with audio. Oh, I might push that away then, a bit louder. That volume better? Didn't have it that loud before. All right. Okay then. Good day everyone. Mick VK3RH. Now why have we got a mouse in front of us? I don't know. All right. I didn't think I'd even be on tonight. I thought I'd still be up the country, but we came back early. Well, coming back today. We thought it was going to be a bit later than that. So it's feeling stiff and sore from driving, but I thought I'll have a crack at fixing this transmitter, and it looks like I've succeeded. Short story is, with the move downwards from 1287 to 1253, the amplifier's not as sensitive to that. So I thought what I would do was drive it a little harder. So we've got one of these from Mini Kits. They're like a little for the gigahertz band, and so I thought what I'll do is I'll drive it with that, but I was very worried maybe it will amplify it too much and I might have to put a lot of attenuation in. But I found out with the hides, it'll actually go down to -47. Now when I'm saying minus, the hides at 0 I think is a milliwatt out, so when we say -5 or minus whatever, you're actually programming it with software attenuation. Now we've had the hides at Peter's place on his spectrum analyzer, and if it's any less than 19, by that I mean from 0 to -19, the signal isn't clean. So if you go -19 or more minuses, then it's nice and clean. So to drive it to any reasonable level to get any decent power out to get the repeater at this frequency, the new, was it 1253? I've got to keep turning around and look at it. I'm used to saying 1287. We had to go to -5 to open up the repeater, but of course the signal wasn't that best because the waveform would have been horrible. So what we've managed to do now is at -19 we're pulling, let me check it, if I can bend down that far, 5.66 amps it reckons. So it was 5.8 before. It does hover around a little bit, and we're holding the repeater quite well. So if I change to here, I can see where the mouse is. Alright, and we're bare. This is the insides of the 140 watt PA. Of course, on television, you know, you're only using 15% of that. 140 watts, probably FM, but not the DVB-T. Now, Bert, the guy that designs it, on the end here, on this picture of his circulator, does not have one of those. But you can see up here there's a couple of bits of snowflakes that he soldered into this one, and he was suggesting that I could do similar. So I thought, yeah, maybe I could do that, but the idea would be to try and use the mini kits and just drive it a little harder. So this afternoon I installed that in. There's the hides at the back. I have it installed on the back permanently, just easier. That way it's not, moving around and falling off. I can see my pictures specking on mine. So you still get me. So that's there. Now on the my VSWR meter, this is driving into the dummy load. This is from the driver PA, not the final. So that's about 11 watts output plus 5. So I knew that was just getting into the repeater. So I thought, well, if I can get that similar, but with a nice cleaner signal on 1253, maybe that will be safe. So long story short is, when I moved to 1253, it dropped down to 1 watt. Now that other first picture was at 1287, so that's the change just in frequency without, it's still at -5, pretty dirty. So minus 19 is borderline. I never knew how low the actual hides would go, and it can go as far as minus 47. So I thought that's pretty good. I didn't know that, so I never really read the documentation properly. Ham radio guy, not fully reading documentation. Anyway, with minus 21, with the preamp put in without any attenuation either side, gave us, what did I say, 5, 6, 7, yeah, right on 10 watts. So I thought that's pretty close. So we just, you can see a joiner, SMA joiner, so it's pretty much suspended in mid-air, and you can see there's the coax just curved around, only just fitted in, and so that new coax goes to the rear of the hides. I did have some different kind of coax in there, but it was too long, so I had to sort of adjust that to fit. And there's the picture of the rear. Reduce the volume level a bit. Well, all I can do is move that over there. I won't talk as loud. And then testing on the bench, we've got it at minus 19 again, and as you can see, the pitch is holding in, so I'm assuming that it's still a nice clean level. Now what I was thinking is, it's minus 19, I'm wondering whether I can put the second unit that I found in series and maybe wind it right back down to minus 47 and then start climbing up. The idea being is if I do need more than what I'm driving at tonight, like if it's raining, or some nights you get in really easy, and some nights a little bit more power, whether that'd be worth doing. But if I did, I probably need to take it round to Peter's place and see that it's all clean, and whether that's a doable thing. But it should be, considering it can go down to minus 47, that should be enough attenuation, because I was thinking, I'm going to have to put a couple of little attenuators either side. But no, it copes alright. Alright, that's about all I've really got tonight. The still last bit is to go in. That's to drive. One of them drives my on-air sign, and one of them drives my automatic muting for the television. So at the moment I've just got the TV completely muted down. Alright, I think that's about it, so I think I'm handing it over to John, VK3RTV over in Williamstown. I'm transmitting DVB-T, so whatever you're transmitting, that will affect the change. Alright, do I have a test card? Maybe. There you go. So I'll catch us later. VK3CH Doncaster closing down.
Good evening everyone, John VK3RTV in Williamstown. I'll keep my segment fairly short. We're probably running a little over time, but just to comment to Peter, I am getting into the repeater reasonably well, but probably need a little bit more power. Worked out it was probably about 3 or 4 dB more to get in, and that probably, I think if you were using antenna couplers that had about a 3 dB insertion loss, so that probably works out about right. Richard, yeah, I wish I knew vMix as well as you did. Great idea, well done on working that out. I'm never quite sure why commercial TV stations did that, but I suppose they just don't like black screens. So they put something on the side of that vertical video, and I actually mentioned to a lot of people who are videoing with their phones to try the horizontal videoing, but most people want it for social media, so that's why they do vertical videoing. It looks better on social media. Okay, I'm currently using the high-des with a different amplifier. I showed everyone last week the amplifier I took off my ports down for. I'm using that, and I'll give you a look at that. So that's the on the right there is the Burt Moderman amplifier. Now I'm having a little bit of trouble with that. It looks like it's gone into an unlinear state, or I should say non-linear state. So it just comes up with no picture from the RTV receiver. So I think it's the driver. I'm still getting a fair bit of power out of it, but it's just not linear. So I'll give you and on the left of the picture there is the little Chinese amplifier, 30-watt amplifier with the bump converter on the top, so that I can run it from 12 volts, because the Chinese amplifier needs 30 volts. And that's a live picture at the moment, so that's what I'm using. I'll give you a closer look at give you a look at what the Burt Moderman amplifier looks like close up. You can see on the left is the input, and that little item there is the MMIC, the MMIC, which is a monolithic microwave IC. So that's a little preamplifier there, and I think that's what I'm having trouble with. So I've ordered a couple of those from Minikits. It's an ERA6 chip. For those that if you haven't seen it before, that's the Mitsubishi module. Unfortunately, they're no longer available, so I'm hoping it's not that. I've been able to adjust. There's a potentiometer there to adjust the bias. I've been able to adjust that up and down, so I think that's working okay. So that's what I'm playing with at the moment. I'm waiting for these little chips to come in, and hopefully be able to get that working again. So that's really all I had for tonight. Just wanted to give you an update of how I'm going. My DATV Express transmitter's still working, but it only does DVB-S2, and I'm still prefer the hides for DVB-T. So, I could go back to the camera. So that's the current situation in the shack here. Still doing repairs. So all those new bits of equipment that I've got waiting to build, etc., like a DTMF generator. are all on hold at the moment till I get the repairs finished. So, yeah, I think that was about it from me. So I will hand it over to Ian, who has probably got a few things he wants to show us. So I'm on DVB-T, Ian. I'll put on my thanks for watching and then drop off. So yeah, thanks everyone again for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next week. This is John, VK3RTV, Williamstown. Good night.
Right, we're getting there. All right, thanks guys. There's yeah, a lot covered there, a lot of action. We had 6 stations plus myself, and yeah, Peter with his report on progress with the repeater, and in his own shack too, the experiments he's conducting. So that was great. The sideboards on the video, great idea, Richard, using vMix. Yeah, you've certainly achieved the desired effect there. And the thermal camera, that's a winner, Clint. I've always been eyeing those off. In fact, I've extracted an archive video about a handheld unit, but that's a step above that. Yes, so that's very interesting, requires further thought. Mick, your exploits on tracking down the problems with your station and upgrading it, that sounds great, and seems like you've nailed it this time. And John, your experiments with your PAs and preamps and things, it's very interesting. So yeah, and but yeah, Peter, replacing all the plug packs is one of those things one always tries to do, but gets defeated in the end because more devices come along, and it's always easier to plug in yet another plug pack. All right, I won't keep going. What I do want to do, I haven't given an advanced quiz for a few weeks now, or about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So here's a block of 5 quiz questions to keep you, to leave you until next week, and so I'll roll with that without any further ado. yes, I got a report that someone got 3 of them, so I think that might be I doubt whether I got that many myself, but I should pay more attention. There's a few other distractions going on, but anyway, yes, so I hope you enjoyed those. I shall tie the knot, and my apologies to John, JCO, VK3 JCO. I haven't added him to the roll sheet, so I blame post-production, as that's their job to add names to that the list of stations that will roll off in a second. Also, I'd like to acknowledge John, G7JTT, who's actually did some testing with an SDR and streamed on QO100 for a test transmission. So Clint, a lot of your show and tell on the camera went international through the QO100 network, covering most of Europe, so and into a bit of Asia. So there you are. You're international. Again, because you're on the QSO party, of course. Andy has added his name to the list on YouTube, as has Vince, VK3YVS, and Steve is the name I missed out on earlier when I was going through the people who had come in. Steve VK3NF, who's was watching on Discord, and I think that covers everyone, but obviously in addition to the names I read out at the start. So I'm getting off. It's about time. I'm sure you will all agree. I pulled the pin and closed the net. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. A real bumper issue this week, that's for sure. Now I've got to remember how I close this.